All right. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Bold Expressions. Today, I have a special guest with me, first time guest. He's going to talk about the recent DreamCon that just happened over the weekend. Yeah, was it this weekend or
It was literally
last
this
week?
past weekend. Yeah.
Wow, man, working overnight time it already feels like it happened like a week ago. But this past weekend, as well as some other cons and other things he's been to, experiencing that blurred life. Go ahead and tell them about yourself.
My name is Shelton from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised. 39 years young. Um, kind of new to the blurred life. The pandemic really like kind of like accelerated my interest into more animes, more video games. I've always played video games, but like the pandemic really accentuated me playing more single player, more story mode games. And then I started getting into animes a little more, and then it just blew up from there. So that's currently where I am at with it now. It's exciting. I love it. I love finding out new animes to watch, new mangas to read. Now I'm into mangas now. So it's really been an exciting thing to develop and learn about.
So you said you really got into blurred stuff during the pandemic.
Yeah. So the pandemic, of course, you had the lockdown phase, and it got to a point where it kind of got boring. At first, I did a lot of Zoom calls with people I knew, friends and family, and stuff like that. But during the day, it just kind of just got boring, man. And then the way it happened was I found at first I got into a Discord, and then the Discord led me to Twitch, and then Twitch led me to different new communities and people that I've never met before. And then
Right.
once I got to know them, they started talking about anime shows. Now, to understand where I can't like where I started as far as like animes, I was more like I would say ground level. So like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. Like I wouldn't say base level, but to me it was kind of like just base level anime. So it was
I,
really
I
like
would
stuff.
I would definitely call those base level.
Yeah. So it was like
Yeah,
base. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's just like base level stuff I saw on TV. I was like, okay, this kind of cool. But then once I started to get to know them, then they started showing me different anime. So what they would do is they would have watch parties. Hey, we're gonna watch this show. We're gonna watch this show. And it's like every show is like, I've never seen this before. So one day I got into one. So the first one I think I saw was I think it was either Ranking of Kings. Oh no, it was Those Stories was the first one that I saw. And I was like, oh no, this is good. And then I got into One Punch Man, and then I got into Ranking of Kings, Jujutsu Kaisen, and then it just kind of went from there. So, um, yeah, so like that's the pandemic really just led me into a whole nother like path in my life, like stuff I'm just interested in now. So it's not now it's just like I have so much I can watch and stuff like that. It's been great, man.
The one thing like with Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon, one thing I like about those is that you definitely, I think watching anime like those definitely give you a good sense of like some anime tropes.
Yeah.
So that way, when you get into other stuff, for me, it helps you appreciate some of the higher tier anime. Because,
Hmm.
and I think a lot of people, like I was watching, I'm sorry, I won't even say watching. Someone shared a clip of me. Someone shared a clip with me. I don't even know if they shared it or I just happened to come across it scrolling through IG. One of those popping balloon dating
Oh,
shows. Yeah,
show.
and it just happened to be one where the guy he had like an anime shirt and the girl was just like, "Yeah, anime just seems childish." I was just like, "Oh, so you don't watch anime?" And I think the a common misconception is that anime is the people who don't watch anime don't realize. like you're in Kev's Discord. Kev, for those you know, Kev on stage, he's
Hmm.
finding out just how deep the storytelling is in anime. That is not just you know people. You can always tell the people who don't watch anime because they always just bring up Dragon Ball Z. Like, yeah, they're just screaming for 5 episodes. Of like, number one, that's not every episode. Number two, you're just not every anime is about fighting. Not every
Exactly.
anime is about power levels. There's so many slice of life anime,
Yes.
just comedy anime. Um, there's anime for all different walks of life. It's almost like whatever you're into, there's an anime for it.
Exactly. Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, some of this, like I said, storytelling is so deep, and their storytelling is different from what we are used to in regards to like a lot of times. And I first picked this up watching like even Bruce Lee movies, to where it's
Hmm.
just like, yeah, he's the hero, but that doesn't always mean he's gonna win. It's like I remember
Exactly.
like a couple of Bruce Lee movies, like he beat the bad guys, but yeah, he got arrested and went to jail. I'm like, dang. I'm like, that's how you end the movie,
Yeah, that's how you. That's that. What really? That's how you end it. Like,
right?
okay.
Right. It's not like you get to ride into the sunset. Like, yeah, there's a lot of anime like well, never I was scared to name some, but that would be spoiler. There are some anime that I've watched to where it ends with the hero sacrificing themselves.
Hmm.
It's like hella, you know, emotional. You go through 20 some episodes with this person and then they end up dying. And then,
Right. And you just
yeah, and you're just right. You're just like, well, they're gonna come back. It's like, nah, they're dead. It's
like
over.
even with Dragon Ball Z, like there was an episode where somebody sacrificed himself and the episode was over. And prior to that, I was never used to stuff like that. I was always so used
Right.
to the hero, he would even though he was beaten, he came back and won. But that was the first time
Right.
I saw somewhere the hero died and that was it. And I was just like, wait, wait, he dead? Oh, really?
Right.
He gone? Like what? Like he's just stunned. So like, and then I've seen more and more like that, where it's just like, the hero's not going to win all the time. Like, no, he's going to go back to the drawing board, just like a villain would have to. Now the
Right.
hero got to go back to the drawing board. Like, so that part too has just been exciting to find out.
Right. I one one of the many cases we're the same age, so I know like me, you probably watch plenty of stuff that you had no business watching as a kid.
Mhm.
Have you watched Ninja Scroll?
I have not.
Oh
I got to
my
put that on
God,
the
that
list.
was something. That was something I should not have been watching when I first watched it. And it's like I remember. Okay, sorry about that. I can't wait to get a tablet or something else that doesn't have such little disk space. Because like I don't know what I was thinking getting a laptop that only has 64 gigabytes. It's like I wasn't thinking that I was going to be doing so much as far as like making videos and stuff for my podcast that like
Yeah,
that eats up so much. And it's crazy to think that we had phones that used to have 64 gigabytes. If I bought a phone now that was only 64 gigabytes, I
there's no way.
right. It's like that would be strictly for and this is not that I'm doing this. This will strictly be for like, yeah, this is a side chick phone. This is strictly for
Yeah, because you ain't putting
side
on there.
activities because
You're
right.
not
It's
putting
like
anything on there.
can't play a game, can't do
Nah, you're not even
right
sending
hackers.
text messages on there. You do.
Right. Like you get that like so 64 like okay, so like four of those is gonna be from the system. Like
Hmm.
that's how they get you. They say, oh, it's so and so. It's like, okay, first off, it's not that much because a lot of this is allotted to the system, and then every time it updates, it's like, nah.
Nah,
But
nah.
yeah, I can't wait to get something else. But anyway, what were we saying? Oh yeah, um, I was talking about Ninja Scroll,
Yeah.
and I remember my niece, my oldest niece. It was late night. It was on something Max or some channel, and she watched it with me, and I wasn't thinking because I'm a kid. She messed around and had nightmares, and I had to hold her, while she was asleep to be like, "It's okay." It's like, yeah, she should not. It's like, yeah,
Ooh.
it is not appropriate. But yeah, it's like, yeah, there's so much that is involved in anime,
Right.
and it's it's another one of those things to where for me, I always feel like it's some anti black shit of
Yeah. Yeah.
other black people trying to be like, oh man, we don't watch it. It's like whatever. Black people love anime. Black people
Yeah.
love all that stuff. And for some reason some people try to act like they're too cool or whatever
That's really
to
what it is.
like it or
Yeah.
or admit they like it. And for me the thing is always like, they have these things like, oh, being a geek, whatever. For me, I'm just like, okay, so you said you don't like anime or comics and all this other stuff, yet you can name off all the stats for multiple players, for multiple teams and all this stuff. I'm like, that's the same damn thing.
And I've heard that before, and I thought about it. This is prior to me like really like getting into it. I thought about it, I was like, you know what, you right. I mean, I've always said I was a nerd because I would always remember those things.
Yeah.
like my dad and my uncle, they call me a human sports almanac because you can ask me stuff about sports, and there's a great possibility I'm gonna know, or I'm gonna know like a one off of it because I could just ring it off just like that. So I've always felt
Mhm.
like I was kind of sort of a nerd about stuff. So it was like whatever, As I gotten
Yeah.
older, before I've had that thing where I love cartoons and I kind of like kept it to myself, because I
Yeah.
always thought like somebody was going to talk about me. But as I got older, I was like, man, you know what? Whatever. This is what I like. I don't care what you think. And then, of course, we'll probably go get into you know um, DreamCon, but to see that stuff, those folks just be freely about, yeah, I like this. I'm a cosplay. I don't care what you think. Now it's just like even more of me like it just feels comfortable about what I watch and what I pay attention to and stuff like that.
Right. I remember me and my best friend, we were over his house. We were watching. It was when they used to have the Dragon Ball episodes of Dragon Ball Z on tape, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
thing of like it'd be like 2 or 3 episodes, just basically teasing you, you know, just getting you because you're not going to get through anything on Dragon Ball Z in 2 or 3 episodes.
Right.
And I remember his mom came back there. She was just like, why y'all watching this? It's like we're like she's questioning like we're kids at this point, and she's like questioning like why are we watching this? Like, well, what if girls? What if you want to like girls? It was just like I don't know. It's like what does it have to? What does it
Right.
have to do with this? And it's also and she's from older black woman, so it's from a thing of like this mentality that you can't get girls watching this, and it's also a messed up thing because uh getting on the Girls Can't Geek Discord and just seeing so much other stuff of expanding, seeing how many women love anime too,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those like kind of yeah duh type things, but it's like when you don't see it, you don't think about it.
Right. Right.
And it's like yeah, you see them, they're out here, they're loving it, they're enjoying it, they're cosplaying too, they're enjoying the stories, they're all this other stuff. So it's like the notion that it's like, well, if you like this, you can't get a girl. Like number one, if this is keep me from getting somebody, then I don't need to be with that person. Like
Exactly.
you was right, like you were saying, it's like you opening yourself up or allowing yourself to like this and be open about it is like, yeah, if somebody else doesn't like it, it's like, okay, well, it's like I who number one, nobody asked you. Number two, like if that's the case, then we just can't then we
It
just
just can't
don't we
work.
just can't rock. Right.
Right.
like
Leave alone.
right. It's like I can't, I can't live my life be put in the box, whatever box that you think I should be in. You know,
Exactly.
it's like yeah, there's so much stuff. I was just finished watching his their podcast before I got on Young Deuces from Geek Set,
Yeah.
and his one on one. You see people like Kadeem Harson, um, not Winston Duke, Bill Duke, um, Phil Lamar, so many, older black people, the fact that they're geeks too and they enjoy it's like so it's not and it's not a thing to have to hide anymore, to act like that you don't like it, or like it's
Right.
out here, people, sports players and whatever, you got Meg the Stallion uh talking
Yes.
about anime and whatever. Um
Yes.
okay, but before we get into DreamCon, I do want to ask you about that. How do you feel about the blowback she's been getting from other geeks about her being a geek girl?
Those are those are the people that are always like gatekeeping to me.
Hmm.
Uh, those are the dudes that you know they see a beautiful woman in the anime or in that lifestyle, and they're like they want to grill her on. Well, name your top five favorite. I'm like, what? Like, dang, why you gotta just accept? I mean, she's into it. Accept her being into it, especially if you see the detail and how she gets into it and how passionate she is about it. I really wouldn't even if I see that you're into it that passionately and you're deep into it. I'm not going to question your validity into being a nerd or being in anime and being in to the blurred um hemisphere, I should say, or whatever. And so
Yeah.
I just always just categorize those folks as the ones that's always trying to gatekeep people or keep people out of those rooms because of the fact that she is who she is. To me, that's what they always come up to me, and I hate it. It sucks because I think that is what's keeping us as far as black people and being into um being black nerds and being into anime and cosplaying and stuff like that. I think that's what keeps us from being way more exposed as we should be, is because
Right.
we have those people that are just so loud and negative and like, no, you can't. Who are you to be in? Like, no, like you should be more accepting to people. That's just going to make it even more and more accepting, and there's going to be more and more people that's going to be like, I guarantee you, there's a lot of people that want to be into it, and they think there's this narrative, this stereotype that they shouldn't be into it. That's keeping it on the hush or keeping it to themselves. And there's gonna be more and more that's gonna be like, man, dog, if she like that, he like that, man. Why am I holding on to this? Let me be open about me loving this stuff. Let me be more open about me loving comics and stuff like that. Like, so that's how I feel about it. It sucks that people are like that, still like that to this day. But that's what they come off to me as, just people that's trying to gatekeep. That's really it. Because honestly,
I don't know if it was a thread or what, but I saw um somebody post um it was basically saying it's like you acting that way, is basically like people who look like Meg is the type of woman that these dudes always wish they can get with.
I
And
didn't want
now
to
that
say
they
it.
see her,
I
but yeah, and
didn't
now
want
that
to
they see
say
her,
it, but
she's
that's
into it. And then they act like that. And the person who wrote the thread is like, it goes to show that you like an anime was never the reason that people didn't like you. Like it's your
mm-hmm.
personality.
Yes.
It reminds me of this thing of like, you all see the thing of like the geeks versus the jocks. And the geeks were always like, oh, they're the nice. It's like being a geek is one of those things like being a geek doesn't necessarily mean that you're a nice person. that you're
Hmm.
a cool person.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen so many, unfortunately, seen so many people who are into comic books, who are into comic book characters, and they act and they supposedly love this character, yet they act so against what this character represents. Like I was reading this, they did a review of this Sam Wilson Captain America book,
Yeah.
to where he was stopping these this racist supremacist, white supremacist group that was attacking and kidnapping Saudis, people crossing the border, whatever. And he was fighting them, and I remember first seeing it before I bought it and everything, and somebody in the comments was just like, it's like, yeah, but they're breaking the law and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, yeah, but they're kidnapping and killing people. It's like whether they're going into whether they're sticking into the country for whatever, Captain America, whether it's Steve or Sam, is not going to be okay with a hate group kidnapping and hurting people.
No, no,
It's
they're not.
like I'm surprised it has to be explained to you which one of these groups that the hero would want
That's
to help,
crazy. Yeah.
or people who supposedly like Superman, and they spout out some of the most homophobic stuff. It's just like, oh, his son is blah 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 blah. It's just like, yeah, but Superman wouldn't care.
No, and at
It's like
all.
that's right, and it's always the thing of like, it's like they like this character, and they just like the people, we saw a lot of them with the revival of X-Men, X-Men '97 this year, and we saw a lot of people, kind of realize. Well, I don't think they have the self-awareness to realize it, but they're just like, we all watched this as kids. You grew up to be the people who hate the mutants, and you didn't realize
You grew up to be the
it.
exact group that was in the original X-Men. You grew up to be them exact people. And it's like they
Right,
brought it right back out again and threw it right back in your face. Like you're still this, you are literally this group right here. Like same
right,
cartoon. This is y'all.
right.
Like
It's like, oh, I want to see that. It's like, know you're watching the show based on acceptance and group. It's like, but yeah, but the like you said, the whole gatekeeping in general is the whack thing about that. Now there are some who would do that to whoever, but it is
yeah,
whack how, especially bad for women. That number one, who the hell are you that somebody has to prove to you that they like anime or how much they like it, or it's like there's some litmus test, or
right.
it's like why do I have to prove to you how much I like it, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
how much I watch or what I watch. Who who elected you? Who hired you to try to dictate? Um,
Right.
you
Who put you on
know,
the grand council? Like to
yeah,
to let me
yeah,
feud
like you
to
said,
the
yeah, like you said, and it keeps people from openly enjoying it because you have these losers being like, Grilly's like, okay, well, what's your top five? And then you give them, it's just like, oh, that's trash. It's just like, what? Shut up. It's
like
like, who? I remember somebody sent me a message about some game I was playing. It's just like, oh, I should have known you're playing this game. So and so is much better. It's like, okay, I'm glad you like it.
okay.
I like this.
Right. I
It's
like
like,
this game
people,
though.
right? Like people giving their opinion to something as trying to like to highball you on whatever, when it really should be just like, hey, you like anime? That's cool. Come in here with us. What do you like? You know, I like this. That's similar to this. Maybe I can get you
Hey, have
into
you
some other anime.
right? Have you seen this one? I think you might like this one based on the what you've told me what you like. I wonder if you might check this one out. Like that's all you
Right.
really got to do instead of being some dude. Well, I've watched this, and this. I'm like, get out of here, dog.
I know all the translations. It's like, get
Yeah,
your
right. Good for you, sir. Two thumbs
right.
up. Like,
It's a thing that could be if they weren't so socially awkward
oh my god,
and
I saw that a lot.
and and low key woman hating
Yes,
because
that too.
that's what I think it is. It's some low key woman hating or the thing of like I said earlier. I didn't think I can get somebody who looks like this because Megan looks like even like some characters on the show. It's like
Yeah.
or even like some other attractive girls they'll see cosplaying whatever. It's like they always thought somebody like this was out of their reach, but now they're seeing them around, and yet they still don't have it within them to stop being weird
Mm-hmm.
around them. So their only defense is like I have to hit them with
Keep
this, and this,
keep them away. Try to get them
right?
out of the.
Because now they see regular dudes like in anime too. It's like okay, well now I thought I had this space to myself, and now I have to still compete, and it's just like it doesn't
It's a double
need
whammy.
this, right? It's like like once again, like maybe it's just you. Maybe you just suck, and you need to change how you think and how you
Yeah.
interact with people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stop being toxic. But I mostly brought you on here to talk about DreamCon, which was this the third year?
This was, I think it was either 3 or 4. I want to say 4. This might have been the 4th year.
Okay, of hosted by RDC World. They're a group of young dudes in they're in Texas. They make hilarious skits and stuff. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of geek content. It's they do remind me of Geek Said to where it's just like back in the day they used to a geek was they had Steve Urkel to
Yeah.
where now it's like we're saying it's like they if they didn't tell if you met them on the street you would know you know th- they're not the stereotypical what we think of geek. It's like they're just they like rap, they like basketball, they like everything else that's considered normal for black
Yeah.
dudes,
Right.
young black men, but they're also into anime
Yep.
and video games and all this other stuff and superhero movies and what have you. And so that's what they make their content on.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hilarious. I don't even really watch sports, but I be dying when they be having
Oh my God.
those LeBron James.
Those are hilarious, man. And they
Where
be
he be
so on
sketching.
point, dog.
Right. And what's funny is when they have when there's clips of seeing LeBron laughing at the
Yeah,
video. It's
that
like
makes it even better.
you right, he sees it and been like, yeah, I did, he's
You're
like,
about right.
right. He was like, I'm only 36. And he's like, I keep doing this. It's hilarious. So they've been hosting this con. Um and it's really if you were it's been a good time for a geek. Well actually, but depending on what you want, it's like there was DreamCon and then maybe earlier was San Diego Comic Con.
And don't forget BlurCon too. BlurCon wasn't that long ago. I
Damn.
think it was about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago was BlurCon in
Yeah,
DC.
there's all that. Yeah, all that. Back to back. If you plan on going, that's a lot of PTO you got to use if you try to hit them all up. Yeah. So tell me about your experiences going to cons. How was your first? What was your first con experience?
So this is my second con I've ever been to. My first one was TwitchCon in Vegas last year. That was my first ever convention I've ever been to. I kind of don't count that one because of the fact that number one, it was in Vegas, and then number two, it was just chaotic the entire
Mm.
time because of because of the fact that no, it is Vegas, and then there was like I think there was 3 other festivals going on at the same time, and then while
Oh,
all of that was going on, there was a construction for the F1 race that was happening in Vegas. So you combine all of that together with TwitchCon, it was just madness. So I kind of technically don't count that one. It was still a great experience. I kind of wish I would have went to it when it was in San Diego. I think that would have been much better, more calmer. But no, as far as like DreamCon concerned, like that was probably one of the best times of my life. Like that was absolutely amazing to be around. Like I kind of like talked about it earlier, but just being around black people, being themselves, being comfortable with who they are, and just you know, the cosplays was just so detailed, was so extravagant, so just well made. You know, people were very, very nice, very cool. The events were awesome. The panels were pretty good. Just everything was nice, man. But this really just to be around so many black people having a great time, being lovers of anime, being lovers of comics, being lovers of manga, being lovers of, just comic films, everything. All of it was like all of it together. All the creators and stuff like that being there, and everything was just it was amazing. It was really cool to experience that.
Okay. What was what was some things that you I don't say learn. What was something that you learned even though you didn't count it for your first one? What was some things that you learned from your first con that you thought of like, okay, I'm gonna do this differently, the next time I go to one.
Um, I might cosplay next year.
Okay.
I might. It really got me into wanting to cosplay. I don't know what I would do, but it's definitely got me into it. The other thing is, I learned definitely from this particular convention was the fact that, like I said when we first started, I'm just getting started into this whole manga anime thing. Like the I think it was in a panel with Geek Set. He kept on stage, and they were just rattling off shows, and I was just like, "What show is that? What show is that? I want to watch that
Yeah.
show." So like, I got to the point where it's like, do I need to write all this stuff down? And like, as the week went on, I was hearing about more and more shows I've never heard of before, and I want to watch them because just to see the passion that people were talking about it and how they were getting into it and just how excited in their faces that they were. Like their faces was just it was one of those things where you, kind of like a basketball, you ask a basketball player about, another player or hey, what do you want to do on this play? Like it was kind of like one of those things they like to just blow up. They're just so eager to talk about it. And it was also just seeing guys just having debates about different shows, different characters. And it just got me more and more into it. And like once I got done, I got back home. I was talking to some people from GCG, asking them questions about, okay, what animes do I need to watch? And they just rather, I just got like a whole list. I got a list on my phone right now of animes I'm going to watch because
Right.
I want to get into it even more, just because it was just so exciting to see all that.
Man,
Those are the
I
two
can
big takeaways.
somebody in somebody in he said live chat asked, what should be their first anime. And it's funny the pressure you feel every time somebody asks that because you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm glad did ask. He's like, what do you already watch? And so that way we can give you a better
Hmm. Yeah.
idea of,
That's
of what you want to. And
yeah.
it's like, because it's like, it's legit a thing of like, oh, I got to think. It's like, what anime should you watch? It's like, okay, because yeah, what do you already like? And we can go from there because it's just like, I don't want to send you to something that's completely outside of what you like because then they may turn you off forever.
Like the one show you was watching, like you don't want to get at the no first person, the first
Right,
timer. They'll be like, man, what the? No, I'm not watching this. Like,
right. Yeah, because it's like, it is a thing. And so they were like, they like boys. I'm like, okay, cool. I have to start this myself. There's an anime. It just recently came out. It's on Hulu. It's called Go Go Loser Ranger.
somebody
Basically,
else. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like for those of you who don't know, basically it's like, okay, say there's the Power Rangers. they have the villains come, they attack, they beat them, but it's like I was like, but it's like the boys into where it's just like they're the heroes, but they really actually kind of suck. And so it's like they make a deal to be like, okay, every Sunday y'all are going to attack, and we're going to beat you, and
Mm-hmm.
we're just going to keep this going instead of just wiping out. Like they and they get cocky, they get they become assholes. Until one of the bad guys is able to shapeshift, and it's like I think they have tryouts for like new members, and so he's like, I'm going to audition to be a ranger, and then I'm going to beat them from inside. And so
Kind of
like
like the
that's the
Green
premise,
Ranger.
right? And so like so that's the premise of the show. And I was like, and I've heard that it's good so far, so I'm interested in that. And I think somebody mentioned Invincible. I should have said Avatar, Last Airbender. Like it's not anime, but it's like anime inspired.
Yeah.
Um,
Invincible, yeah.
yeah. Well, more so Avatar, like anime inspired. I mentioned since she the person also said House of Dragon. I was like, okay. Um, I was like the Masters of the Universe shows on Netflix that has a lot of sword and sorcery involved in that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's made by a Texas-based animation studio that is definitely anime inspired. So that's also a good a good thing to go to. It's like there's a lot to go to. It's like yeah, it's like I'm always like yeah, it's like there's so much that you can watch, that you can be into. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
like superheroes, there's a lot of superhero content. I know I'm currently watching My Hero. Um, there's this anime I watched on Netflix called Tiger and Bunny that was cool to me. They had like two series of them. It's basically like heroes are. It is very no, not like the boys. It is like they have heroes, but they are backed by a sponsor, and so like they have like
Oh.
rankings. It's just like when they're out fighting crime, there's cameras and they're following them. Each of them have unique superpowers, and so when they get points based off of the criminals they catch, collateral
Hmm.
damage, any of that stuff, and they legit have sponsors, going after them, and it's like a mix of traditional 2D animation, and when they're out fighting, they're in these suits, these kind of like armored suits. There's like cell shaded or what have you. Um, and it's cool. It's comedy with like some action. Uh, and it's like I want to say like season two, they really get into the whole being sponsored thing to where it's like they do commercials. They have one of them is like a pop star, and
Oh
so it's
no.
like
I gotta put this on the list now. What you
yeah,
said? You
it's
said
like
it was Tiger and Bunny?
yeah, it's like she's like a pop star, and so it's like they and you notice this a lot in like Korean and Japanese media. There's always the like K-pop star, the J-pop star, to where they have that persona, and then when they're not that, they're completely different. It's like she colors her hair when she's doing this, whatever,
Oh yeah. I
and
think
it's
I think
like
I might
it's
be
like
into that.
they're competing there for working out together. They're talking, but it's like yeah, in season two they legit have decals sponsoring different companies on their suits. So it's like yeah,
That's
they're definitely
that's funny.
So it's
Yeah, I gotta watch
yeah
that.
yeah it's I enjoy it, but yeah, there's so what was a favorite panel of yours at DreamCon?
Um, I would say besides the obvious, which is VCG panel, Shout out to Girls Can't
Mhm.
Geek. I love those ladies. I love them so much. So besides that one, of course, that was number one because those are my friends. I love them very
Right.
deeply.
Shout out to the
Honestly,
Girls
the
Can Geek podcast.
yes. Uh, so besides those, that's automatic. That's number one. So,
Mhm.
so besides that, honestly, it was Geek Set with Kev on stage. I can't remember the other two guys' name. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for that. But they were awesome
Carl
too.
Jones and Pierre.
Actually, Pierre was there, but Carl Jones couldn't make it, so there was another guy that
Oh yeah, I
stepped
forgot.
in.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot who
I
they
forgot
said
his name.
else was there, and I just heard them talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that panel was amazing because they talked about he was talking about just being a blurred and just getting into it and just they got into different animes and stuff like that. Then they also got into creating. They were very just very open about everything, and it was amazing just to listen to those guys talk about that stuff. It was great.
Yeah. Like again, I would love at some point to be able to go to a con, even if it's just a regular con, like just a
Mhm.
local one. I would love to like just start there before I, travel somewhere else. Because mostly that's the biggest part, having to travel because it's already taken off. Everything is always, on days I have to work. So it would have to be working around that, and then also the travel. That would be another thing. But one of these days, I keep saying like I want to go to a con and experience that for myself. Like because like you said, being able to see everybody and just be open with what they love and what have you.
Yeah, yeah,
That would
and
be
and shout out to them, the people that came from out of town with their cosplay outfits. Shout out to them because I know some because the stuff I saw, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how you packed that. Either you packed it or you made it when you got there, because some of the stuff I saw was just like, man, that's really good work, like very good work, So shout out to them because Lord knows, I already have a hard time with my carry on already. So
all right. Yeah, cosplayers are so that's like a whole another hobby.
yeah,
I see so many videos of people. First off, where is everybody getting all these 3D printers from? That's what I want to know.
like
I'm seeing people
good.
making these 3D printed like Spider-Man masks, so it looks like authentic and whatnot, or Deadpool mask, or Wolverine mask, and
Yeah,
they're making Iron Man armor and all this other stuff. And these people, I have to know what their actual job is. I've seen people. I know you can buy the Iron Man helmet to where you put it on and it opens up.
those
I've
are
seen people
expensive.
make that. I've seen somebody make one to where the repulsor lights up and like like the aerial flaps
Yeah, they
on
open
the
up.
back end. Yeah, I've seen somebody make a dope Spider-Man 2099 like full costume,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, it- it's like,
yeah. I
what do
didn't.
y'all do?
Yeah, what do y'all do for a living? Because I know this stuff is
Right,
not cheap, especially 3D printing. Because there was a
right,
guy there. He he had the whole Black Panther everything. Like the helmet looked like he brought that like off like it was like a one-on-one replica. It looked
right.
so real. Then he had the claws. Then he had the necklace, the
Right.
suit. It was just like, man, that's amazing. Then secondly, that popped in my head. I was like, I know you're hot, sir. I know
Those
you're
suits are
hot.
so hot.
I
But
know you are
but
hot, man.
and still, well, know how I know he's hot because even I follow the guy, and I've seen following for a while. The guy who was a stunt actor for Black Panther in Civil War,
Yeah,
and like even in those costumes don't look like that when they're filming. There's a lot they have to take off in order for them to move around and do everything.
Hmm.
And even they talk about how hot they are in those suits.
Yeah.
And so like you're in there, it's like, yeah, you gotta have a lot of talcum powder or whatever going around, and it's just like, yeah,
I
it's like,
was,
yeah,
damn. I was like, if
that
I
is a lot.
cosplay, it's got to be something that's light. Like, I can't do it. I'm already tall and I'm a big dude, so it's like whatever I do, it's got to be something light. I, somebody knows I'm cosplaying, but it's light.
Luke Cage, just get you a yellow shirt or maybe a hoodie to go with it, some black jeans or
I could do
whatever.
that.
Yeah, just maybe put some holes in it to look like it's bullet holes, whatever.
I could do that.
Yeah, yeah, just grow the goatee out so look. Yeah, that's it's like there's for me. I if I ever cosplay, there's one hero I would do. Um,
Hmm.
this is a black hero from Marvel. His name is Blue Marvel. He's become a favorite of mine over the years.
I haven't heard Blue
Uh,
Marble in a long time, dude.
yeah,
Wow.
I was like, I remember when I first found out about him, I was like, oh, this dude seems dope. I have, and I made it, shout out to Comixology, because I made it my mission to, I think I have maybe like there's some certain single issues. I have almost every appearance he's had. I
Hmm.
have his five issue origin. Uh, I have the Ultimates book he was in. I have the Mighty Avengers run he was in. I have some other stuff that I have that is like, oh yeah, he shows up in this. That's cool. Either from Captain Marvel or Avengers No Road Home.
Hmm.
Um, I have the Defenders because I make sure Defenders. For those who don't know, the Defenders, they made it different in the Netflix series. In the comics, Defenders originally started is like a non-team team. It originally started as Doctor Strange, Namor, Silver Surfer, and the Hulk.
Yeah.
Some other people came along, and it's like they were a team in secret. It's like to at one point they end up fighting the Avengers because the Avengers don't know that they are a team. So they don't know why they're together. And it's just like they're trying to do something. It's just like, oh, so they're obviously being brainwashed and we have to fight them or whatever. But like I have this Defenders book with Doctor Strange and some other people. And then in a period between this and was it Defenders Beyond, Doctor Strange dies and he sends a message to Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is I've made a couple episodes about him. He's this super powered older black hero. He was like active during the 60s. So I want to say he's like born in like maybe the 40s.
Hmm.
Um, he's like fought in the Korean War. He's, super smart. Um, he got his powers from like antimatter, which I always thought antimatter was like, some fake stuff. It's like, oh no, that's real.
Yeah. No, it's real. Yeah.
And so like, he got his powers like that. He basically was it's hella reductive, but it's the simplest way to describe him. He was like Superman.
Yeah.
The suite of powers, strength, speed, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Um, he had to quit because, the government tried to fuck him over when they found out he was black. And he was kind of like, well, since y'all gonna do me like this, y'all can have it. And I'm really grown to like think he's a dope character and wish that they would do more with him. But yeah, like if I was to cosplay, there's like his current costume is basically like some blue, like kind of cargo pants, some black boots, black shirt, and a blue vest. I'm like,
Yeah,
I can rock that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's like because I don't have the time, the space, mostly the safe space to like come up with like a cosplay that my kids will earn. So yeah, so you know, but yeah, I've seen some of this cosplay is so it's like movie quality. You know,
Yes,
I've I've
yes.
seen people. You know, when you see people come there as like Transformers, like you said, you're like, how did you get this on the plane?
How'd you
It's
pack
like,
this? Did you just get it
right,
sent to the hotel? Like, how? Like, is this unbelievable? The detail that people went in, like even with like the paintings on their faces, and you look at it and be like, dang, that looks real. You know it's fake. Like you know the blood
right,
is fake, but just look like real. Like, oh my God. Like you guys are
right.
just so talented, man. Like this is unbelievable.
What what would you say was probably the worst cosplay that you saw? It's just like it's not even that it doesn't even have to be like it's bad, but it's just like you were almost there, but
Oh,
there was something that's kind of messed up.
it's hard to say because there were so many good ones that I don't even really think about the bad ones.
Right,
Like honestly, it was so many good ones that I saw that I don't. Yeah, I don't. I never. If there was a bad one, I don't even remember it because there were so many ones that was just so good that I saw that I wanted to remember. Like man, like I saw this. I saw this person as Black Panther. Like I saw this person as Sailor Moon. Like it was so many dope ones that I saw. It was just like, yeah. There's a bad one. I don't even remember it. To be honest with you.
what would you I know earlier you talked about you know the whole gatekeeping thing keeping us from doing more. What would your hope to be for blurs going forward? What would you like to see?
I just like to see it continue to grow, man. I would like to see it continually get bigger. I would like to see more people just openly just be like, "Hey, man, I love this. I enjoy this." You know, who's with me? Like there was somebody in the panel. I think it was Pierre. He said, "Man, where y'all been at, man? Because if I know y'all was out here like this, I'd have been way more open with my love for comics, my love for manga, and my love for anime and films and stuff like that. I'd have been way more open a long time ago." So that's really it. Just seeing it grow more, just seeing more people just be into it, just be more people be say, "Man, I'm a blur, man. I love this. Like, let's get together. And let's do more together." You know what I'm saying? Let's have more watch parties. Let's have more conventions where people can get together and cosplay and just have fun and just talk about what they love. Like just seeing it more and more. That's really what I want to see. Like I've seen BlurCon already. I haven't been there yet, but I've seen it. And just seeing that is amazing. Of course, DreamCon is amazing. I want to see more black nerd conventions. Man, I want to see more of them because I think there's a lot of us out here that really love it, and they really just don't. They don't feel comfortable yet coming out and seeing that they're blurred, and they want to be open with it, love it. So
That's what's up. Oh, okay. I wanted to. You mentioned a couple times. I didn't ask you. What manga are you into?
I haven't gotten them yet. I know they're
Okay.
out there. I've seen people talk about them. I know there's different. There's ones based off of shows that I want to read because because I know I was listening to a conversation where this guy was talking about, I think it was Jujutsu Kaisen or something like I forgot either this one or it was a different one. And he was talking about the manga version of it and how much more like in depth it was than the show. And I'm thinking to myself like, well, damn, the show is pretty damn good. Like, how more in depth can you get? But then I think about it like a book, you can get even more into it
Yeah.
because you have, with words and things like that. There was another manga that I heard about that was really good too. And it was totally different from what the show was. But just seeing that it's like okay. And then I know my nephew's into mangas too. I know I brought him a couple of books already that he's reading. So that's another reason why I want to get more into manga because I know I want to do stuff with him so he can get it. Like me and him can, have this.
Right.
The one thing I've always want, I've always just want like something with my nephew, like me and him to bond with, and I besides sports because of sports, because it's my
Yeah.
that's my nephew, so we play sports together. But I wanted something else, so like this is another avenue for me and him to get into it. So that's why I'm starting to get into manga as well. Because maybe then me and him would talk about, hey, have you read this one? Have you read, stuff like that? And then hopefully once he gets a little older, I can take him with me to DreamCon. I can take him with me to BlurCon. And then we can talk more and more. He can link up with more and more people and let it grow like that. But that's, as far as manga, I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's definitely something I'm interested in really digging into.
Okay. So you bought some for your nephew. Have you flipped through the books? Okay, it's
Yes, I
like okay,
have.
so you already okay, like so you already know that reading is gonna be like you have to it's from right to left.
Yeah. I was looking.
Um,
I bought a book for him one year for Christmas, and I'm looking at the book. I'm like, wait a minute, how do you read this? So on the next day, when he got the book, I asked him, how do you read this?" He showed me how to read. I was like, oh, there's a way you have. It's not like a regular book. I was like, okay,
yeah, it's like
okay,
yeah. Their reading is reverse from ours. Um, I think the first I remember being in I guess high school. Was it high school? Yeah, it was high school, like the lower maybe like sophomore. And I remember
hmm
somebody brought in a Shonen Jump, which is like book collecting a bunch of different manga in it. And I remember reading the first issue of Naruto, and
okay,
I'm just like, okay, that's dope. And then years later, seeing it, be like, I remember reading that,
yeah,
and just that thing, and like you said, the yeah, I manga is anime is definitely a closer adaptation to manga than say like the X-Men cartoon is to X-Men comics.
nah, okay, okay,
Uh, because with the manga, it's a singular artist and author. A lot of times it's the same person. They came up with the story. It starts here,
hmm
and then they can adapt it from there. With comics, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman have been around for almost 100 years.
yeah,
Spider-Man and them has been around since like the 60s.
yeah,
So whatever stories they're doing, they're going to have to adapt it because a lot of stuff, like even like back in the day, like the 70s, 80s, even when they adapted it then, there's some stuff that like just doesn't work because there's so much lore behind it. It's just like a
hmm
lot of this stuff we have to update. A lot of this stuff, a lot of times they say some stuff that isn't really acceptable now.
yeah,
Um, like there's a period of Spider-Man, and there's different writers, so there's different interpretations of the characters. There was a period with Spider-Man where he's kind of an asshole, where the person writing him was much more into this. He was much more into this concept of which is funny. Like we were talking about for a hero, his thing was he was much more of the mindset of your greatest responsibility is to yourself
yeah,
above all else. And Spider-Man was kind of bitter. It was like he was like, it won't. I remember this panel I was watching. Somebody was going over. He was watching people protest, and in his mind, he was against the protesters. It was like at a college campus. He was like, "Oh, they're just doing this for whatever," and blah 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 blah. And it was just like it was definitely the the tone of it was definitely, oh, this is a grown man writing something that doesn't seem right coming out of this younger person's thought
Hmm.
process.
Yeah.
And just the way, he goes. So it's like if you're adapting something, you're going to want to change that interpretation of Peter.
Hmm.
Because the most time the people who are making the show, a lot of times the people who wrote it aren't involved in the making of the show. Because like I
Right.
said, there's a lot of, there's Batman the animated series is regarded as one of the greatest superhero cartoons ever. It is as many say, the perfect distillation of Batman. For me, when people say who's your favorite, it's like Kevin Conroy for me is the is perfect. It's like because he's the only he has done for me what no other live action actor has done, and that is separate Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Without
Especially
without
with
having
the
to.
yeah, because I felt like the Dark Knight was kind of like they almost not totally, but they definitely I can feel where it's like, okay, you're getting a little too close. Like this is not the Batman Bruce Wayne dynamic that I'm used to. Like they're really like almost intertwining a little bit. Like with the
Right,
anime series, they were totally different people.
right, and it's the thing of like this is the same person doing two distinct different voices.
Hmm.
They don't you don't hear Bruce Wayne and just be like, and then when he's Batman, it's just like, oh, well, that just sounds like Bruce just doing another voice. Like, no, that is a different voice.
Totally different
Um,
voice.
and the funny thing is, it's like it's a perfect distillation of Batman. However, you get things like um, getting older. There are some things I have issues with the show. Like even when I was younger, it's like I wish Robin was in it more. I wish he had a bigger role. Um, the second Robin they brought on, I'm like, I was not arguing, but I was joking with a friend at work. I was like, that is not Tim. They took Jason's origin and just said that that's Tim. I like Tim acts nothing
Ah,
like this.
no.
I was like, that's a bull crap. That is not Tim. I know Tim. I've read about Tim. That ain't him.
That ain't Tim.
Um,
That's not Tim.
right. It's like, no, that's not him at all. But um, but yeah, you have Mr. Freeze is made. They didn't create him, but they made him in that show to where he was a joke villain.
Yeah.
In that series, they came up with the backstory of like, okay, he's a tragic villain. He lost his wife like this, and he's that interpretation of Dr. Freeze didn't exist before that show.
Yeah.
They created Harley Quinn. They created Harley Quinn. I don't even say simp. It's like low key some simp stuff. They created Harley Quinn based off the woman who they eventually got to play her, um, Arlene Sorkin. There is literally I don't know what old 70s 80s show she did to where it's basically the Harley Quinn character. She like came out. It was like one of those old variety shows. She came out.
Hmm.
She was dressed as a clown doing that voice. And the creators of the show, one of the creators, was friends with her, and they created that character based literally for her. And
Perfect.
right,
Perfect.
and then they end up putting her in the comics, and she's arguably as big as the Joker.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but like there's a lot of, and funny enough, there's a lot of. So Batman. They have so many different versions of Batman. Uh, and what's funny, they have so many different versions of Batman. You have Batman the animated series, and then you have a completely different series in Batman Brave and the Bold,
Hmm.
which takes stories from a completely different era of Batman, the more like campy versions, and they give nods to issues from that. and they have to change stuff. And then you also have stuff that they took from the more serious Batman the anime series and like change stuff. So basically, what I'm saying is like there's so much stuff that they have to change and adapt for American shows,
Yeah.
and they are much closer to censors for us, you know, than they are for kids.
Yeah.
And like I remember the first time watching like uncut Dragon Ball, it's like they're flipping people off, they're cussing people. Uh, Goku was running around Winnie the Pooh sometimes.
Yeah. When I first
So
time I watched it, I was like, whoa.
yeah,
What? I was like, oh,
yeah,
yay. I didn't know they made this version.
right. And a lot of times, they've gotten better now that the dub was, like I said, censorship. The dub was greatly different from what was in the manga.
Hmm.
Because there's some stuff that we're going around. It's just like, oh, well, that's that. It's like when the manga is completely different. Um, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are closer to the manga than Dragon Ball Super is.
Okay.
Um, because Akira Toriyama, he did the story. Um, there's a guy Torotoro. He had a fan manga series based off Dragon Ball, and it was so good. It was so kind of, I guess, close enough to Toriyama style to where
Hmm.
they got him to draw Super. Him and Toriyama came up. They worked together. They collabed, whatever, before Toriyama's passing. Uh, so they have the Super manga and they have the Super anime, and for a lot of parts, they are similar in a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of details that's completely different. Like the way certain events end, certain transformations. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff they skip in the manga that they
Hmm.
didn't skip in the anime. That probably would have made more sense for them to skip in the anime. To be honest, it's like for some stuff they're just like, okay, well, we made two movies about this. I'm assuming they watched those movies, so there's no point of us having to draw all this stuff. So yeah,
Exactly.
we're just gonna recap it, and that's what happened. And like, there's a part like was it Tournament of Power? It's completely different to where like in Tournament of Power, like even like Gohan's outfit in the anime, he's dressed like Goku because that's the
Hmm.
last outfit he had when he was
Yeah, I
from
remember that.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
In the manga, he's dressed like Piccolo, like he was when he was a kid, and he's even like, I'm going to find a different path to power than you guys are doing.
Uh,
He's like, I think he's like, I'm going to find a, in anime he gets eliminated fighting the bunny dude. In the manga, he fights Kefla, the fuse. He fights the fusion chick that Goku beat. Like so,
okay.
he by himself 1-on-1. So that's like a different thing of like. So to me, that's just like him being strong enough to fight this fusion. Is like a good kind of cap. I was like, okay, like that's pretty cool. And the fact that he was able to like, and there's a lot of stuff that's like different in those stories.
Hmm.
And so like, yeah, it's like it is a completely different thing of like the way that they can leave some stuff out or shorten some stuff because yeah, reading something it has a different flow than seeing it animated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Definitely. Definitely.
yeah,
Huh.
so
He
I
dressed up as Piccolo.
yeah he has that that purple that purple gi on. So yeah, I've been meaning to get some of those because I do like the art, I do like the stories, and stuff that I wish they would just hurry up and animate because it's just like when you have the stories there,
Hmm.
and I'd rather them do that and pull what they did for GT because GT they didn't have anything. It's like Toriyama finished Dragon Ball Z, and that was it. And then like a year later, the studio was just like, "Well, we want to keep making Dragon Balls, so we're gonna." They came out with GT.
Yeah, I didn't really get into
G,
GT like that.
yeah, GT sucks.
Yeah,
And
I
it
knew that
sucks.
was the reason why I didn't realize. I was like, something about this one, I don't like.
GT is like the last, even though I didn't see it, I watching stuff and listening to people talk about it. GT is like the last, maybe like 2 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
It's like they were cool when they had something to draw from, but when they had to do it by themselves, you see what happened. Basically, it's like yeah,
Yeah,
it's like GT was all original, and it's just like, oh, this sucks.
yeah, I knew there was. I was like, when I saw it the first time, when I saw like a preview of it, I was just like, nah, something about this. This ain't nah. So I never really,
Right.
I didn't even try to get into it. I just ignored it. I was like, nah, I'm not.
I remember watching when I was just like, oh, this is. And it's one of those things they really kneecap the American audience because they're just like, okay, there's like 16 episodes. We're not going to give you guys those episodes. We're going to recap those episodes in like this one episode, and we're going to start from what presumably is the more exciting part. Is like so you just get a truncated version of him being turned into a kid, the Dragon Balls. It's all that. It's like wow. But then to the credit, when you go back and actually watch it, it's just like this sucks too. It's just like it's just bad all around. It's just the pacing is literally just like, hey,
You.
all the people that you love from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, we're gonna leave all them around. We're gonna leave all them behind, with the exception of Trunks, who for some
Yeah.
reason is going around space in shorts and a long sleeve shirt, and Goku's annoying ass granddaughter. I
Nah.
was like, yeah, and I was just like, man, like I'm
Mm.
watching Team Four Star. I'm watching them do commentary going over GT, and it's just killing them. They're just like, there's so much. There's just like this should be better. It's like none of this makes sense. None of this.
I know they're doing that with frustration. Like,
Yeah, but yeah, is there any? I know you said Jujutsu Kaisen. Are there any other? Are you only going to? Are you only going to look for manga that has an anime equivalent, or are you just going to look to see what you?
well, I think I might. Well, for now, I'll probably if I when I do decide to get into it, I'll probably go stick with stuff I probably like that has an anime. Probably stick with that
Mm-hmm.
first, and then probably dig into because I know there's probably like ones that just stand alone by themselves, just a manga, like a pure manga, like So I don't want to go over there yet because I know that's probably deep. I want to start here and then just start going down from there and just really dig into it.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how much they have. You can see, and I don't know the space that you have. Um, I have some physical books, but I have much more books through Comixology. Um, they always have some sales on some stuff. It's good for me because don't have the space for. I was cleaning out something. I had to find the space for the few books I do have,
Mm-hmm.
which is I have a good size amount of books. Like I even have some books, a couple books over here in my little office. I just have this on my desk. Oh,
Yeah, I was about to say you just it took you all the way out.
that's weird. So the green shirt doesn't make me disappear, but the picture of the
The,
black Spider Man makes me disappear. You racist mother. Anyway, it is the
I see it now.
okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
Spider
the
Man.
first yeah, it's the first volume of Miles Morales Spider Man. Uh,
Oh,
the the art is pretty cool. So I have the first like okay, there we go. I really like the art. Um, um, I have the first volume of this,
hmm
and I have more of them in digital. Uh, the Ultimate Spider-Man before that, when it's Peter Parker, I have up to volume 19.
okay.
It's like that was like some of my first comics that I start buying for myself. Like I remember having comics before, but like that's the first I had for bought for myself. I bought, and those are the trades for people who don't know, volumes or trades. It's like a bunch of for the people who've heard me talk about comics. Like this one has uh Ultimate was it Ultimate Fallout 4, and what is okay, so this has 6 issues. Ultimate Comic Spider-Man 1 through 5, and his first appearance is Ultimate Comics Fallout. So it has his first appearance, his first official appearance in the universe,
hmm
and then 1 through 5 of the first part of his um, series. And that's why I like collecting trades for different things like that. Um, as far as like comics, if anybody wants to get into comics, there's a lot of, if you don't know where to jump into, sometimes you just start off with a number one of a volume or what have you, or like Marvel has like epic collections or different things like that. Or sometimes they'll have books that'll be like, okay, we're going to give you a bunch of books from various years that gives you an idea of who this character is. Um, but yeah, they have manga on Comixology too. Um, in the GCG thread, I want to say in the books, I want to say Storm King had some ah I can't think of the name, but she shared a site that had like some deals on manga and whatnot, so you can check that out. Um,
Cool.
you
Okay.
know, so yeah, I've been wanting to get more into it, but yeah, I've get more into that. I've been a lot more into reading comics and trying to review them. Uh, I feel like sometimes though, when I finish, I have the same issue I have when like wanting to watch anime or different things. It's just like I have so much. It's like it's hard to start. It's hard to think about what I want to start reading next because
hmm
I sometimes like to go on a trajectory, different like a path of like it's like okay, I have these Superman books. It's like okay, but I want to read this because I know this leads up into this, and I don't want to start reading this until And it's the thing of like
Yeah.
sometimes you have so many options that you end up not doing anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no, I agree with you on that one. I
yeah,
agree with you on that one. I'm definitely that's the one. That's the one. That's the thing I'm probably scared of. Is like I want to go, especially with the animes I want to watch. I want to make sure I watch them and not try to veer off into another one. And then all of a
right,
sudden now I'm going both ways, and I end up going like, okay, I'm not watching any of these because I'm lost now. now
right,
I just lost my way. I'm just like, ah. Now I'm like trying to watch 4 animes at the same time, and I'm just like, ah. So like it's just don't give me like I was like when I was telling people to give me a list. I was like, don't give me too many. Just give me a couple that I can just sink
right,
my teeth into, and then once I start going. And then I'll probably ask for more as I go along, but don't give me too many. Because you give me too many options, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what one to pick. So I'm probably not gonna watch any of these because I don't
right.
know.
Um, I'm trying to think. One, I said the Tiger and Bunny one. There's another one. Like I like. For me, I'm a big fan of like in general of like heroes. It's like I'm, they're saying I'm a product of Power Rangers. another Japanese product. So I'm a big fan of people being heroes without having to have some tragedy happen.
Yeah.
It's like I enjoy that. And so like I like, those type of stories. Another one that's on Netflix, like I've gotten into a lot of stuff on Netflix, is Ultraman. That's on
Heard that name
Netflix.
before.
Ultraman is that's a continuation. Ultraman is another it's an anime based off of, and I watched two of them like this. It's a anime based off a live action property that's in the vein of Power Rangers. It's like a pilot. Something happened, like an alien like merged with him,
Hmm.
and it's like whenever monsters would attack, he'd run off. He'd transform into this giant, this silver and red giant, and would fight the monsters. And it was like the '70s, so it was like really bad. Guys in like floppy plastic suits, whatever. The anime is cool because it's like his son. His son like has powers, but he doesn't know why, because it's just like when Ultraman left, he like the dad like kind of lost his memories of like he didn't know that he was him.
Yeah.
And Ultraman is like what's his name? Super Sentai, which is what Power Rangers was adapted from. Um, I want to say the genre is like Tokusatsu or whatever. Is that and Kamen Rider, where it's just like each season is like a different series.
Yeah.
Um, there's been like a bunch of Ultraman throughout the series. There's been a bunch of Power Rangers throughout the series. Throughout the years, that you don't have to watch one to have watched the other. Um, but I got into that. I like that. That was pretty cool. Um, for like a more American made, like anime inspired, um, Voltron. Voltron, the legendary defender on Netflix.
Yeah. Voltron.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yes. I did
That I
watch
love
Voltron.
that. I've watched that multiple times. It's like this is so good. It's like I feel like the animation never. It's like I've never watched an episode to where I felt like, okay, this is the B team,
Yeah.
making this specific episode. It's all the quality is always great. The story and all that has always been great. So yeah,
Yeah, I definitely
I've
remember
always enjoyed
Voltron.
stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good one. It's on Netflix. I recommend that to anybody. Uh, what's another one? I'm trying to think. I already said My Hero. I'm into Demon Slayer.
Why
Um,
not that on my
I
list?
need to
Let me see.
finish. I need to finish Castlevania. That was pretty good.
No, I ain't got that on my list. I know one. I know. So the five that I was recommended, well, the first five was Tower of God,
Hmm.
Go-Go, Laser Ranger, Inuyasha, The Way of
Oh,
the
and you
House
watched it good.
Husband, The Way of the House Husband, and Kaiju number eight.
I heard of Kaiju number 8. I haven't watched it yet. Way of the House Husband is hilarious. It is very like low key and subdued. It's like kind of dry humor.
Hmm.
It is amazing. I remember I watched it and I also watched some with the crew when they had some some watch alongs, whatever.
Yeah.
That was fun. But yeah, that's just it is hilarious.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Uh, what's another? I think you said one. I think you mentioned One Punch Man before.
Love One Punch Man. And then when I
Um,
somebody was and I said that I liked One Punch Man, one of them that was um suggested to me was Big O.
oh,
Is it
Big
Big
O
O? The
is
yeah,
yeah, Big O is that's another one to where it's just like it ends up like this is a head scratcher. It's like this is that's the era Toonami. But no, I was gonna say if you like One Punch Man. One Punch Man is another anime that is funny when you know the tropes of anime.
Yes.
It's like it subverts all that.
Hilarious.
But I would say if you like
Hilarious.
that, uh, Mob Psycho 100 is made by the same creator who did One Punch Man.
Okay.
So check that out as well. But man, I'm sorry for being so late. I held you up longer than I meant to. I appreciate you, for hopping on. Hopefully, we can hop on again, uh, chat it up about some stuff.
Hey, man, you want to
Thank you
talk about
for,
sports, anything, let me know. I'm here, man. I'm here.
yeah, let people know where they can find you.
Nowhere. No,
They leave me alone.
I'm not a streamer, so don't I don't stream or anything like that. I'm on Twitch a lot, just supporting a lot of people that I really enjoy watching, playing video games. I support my friends. But if you do
Uncle
want to
John,
follow
Uncle John.
me,
Oh no, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
if you do want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Shellz G85, all one word, Shellz with a Z, G85. You can watch me do my travel adventures, playing golf, being with my friends, stuff like that. That's really, really it. I'll probably update, my, watching animes and stuff like that when I'm watching. Um, but no, I'll just be walking, I'll just be traveling, enjoying life, man, playing golf and enjoying my friends, watching them on Twitch and just, yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. That's it.
Share some of the people who you watch.
So I watch SD Trinity. Shout out to her. Watch Sunshine and Georgia Rays. I watch what is Jen name? Miss Curly Waves. I watch her as well. Um, I also there's another one. Who else I watch on there? There's a bunch of people I watch. There's a lot of people I watch on Twitch. Kiwi on the Sticks. I watch. Um, I got Terrible Gaming. Watch him as well. I think my friend Don't Be Jealous is also on there as well. Majestic Madness 15. Um, who else, man? There's so many people I watch on a daily. Somebody else is on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of his name. Dang it.
Kai,
Uh, Kai. What is the Kai name on there? That's what I'm trying to
I'm gonna
remember his
say
name.
Kasich 03 or
Something like that. I think it was
shit.
start. Is it
Yeah,
start with a
I
C
can't
or
think.
a K? One of
It
them.
starts with a
Yeah.
C.
I watch Kai on there, Kasich a lot. I watch him as well. I support him. Jig. What is Jig
Oh
name?
yeah,
I watch Jig
Jiggly
as
Senpai.
well. There you go. Jiggly Senpai. I watch her as well. Great dancer. I love supporting her. Um, Basically everybody in GCG. If they GCG, I'm watching them. I'm there. I'm either in the chat or I'm lurking. I'm around. So
All right,
there's a lot of people I just support, and it's all because of the pandemic, man.
right.
If it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't know about Discord and I would not know about Twitch, like at all.
I,
Period.
if it wasn't for the pandemic, I never would have got on Discord, and I never would have pushed this as much as I did. Like 97% of the people that I've had on this, I've met through Discord.
Mm-hmm.
There's been very few people, like I can count on one hand, that I've had on here that actually. It is easy. I'm so frustrated. It was easier for me to message you and get with you than it is for me to get with people that live in the same city. That like 10 minutes I can drive to your house. It is so hard to get people. Oh, God damn.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy, ain't it,
Oh,
dog? That's so crazy,
yes.
man. But it's like I've already met a lot of people I've met on Discord. I've met them twice already, and talking about doing more stuff with them. So it's just crazy how that pandemic just turned a lot of things, um, introduced me to a lot of things and just kind of like just buried itself into me and kind of just branched out into a whole different world for me. And it's amazing. Like it's crazy how that is just one of the worst times of my life, one of the worst times in American world history,
Right.
turned out to be something that was just so beautiful. Like it was crazy. It's just crazy how it is, man. It's almost like a
Yeah,
flower.
I definitely feel the same way. It's just like I've met so many people that I genuinely call friends that support me and what have you. It's just like, dang, it's like, yeah, look, it's like, I remember when I first thought about that, it's like, I don't want to say that I'm happy for it because what happened, but it's like, but yeah, it's like, but I met so many cool people, that pushed me to do this and like I said, support and, do other stuff. But it's just like, yeah, but it's like, damn, it's like, yeah, but it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. It's crazy, crazy. But
But yeah,
I'm grateful, man. I'm very grateful to meet you. Grateful to be your friend. I'm grateful to call you a friend. I'm grateful to call everybody in GCG friends. Everybody else I've known. Grateful to call them friends, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful,
man,
man.
it definitely is, the way we can be able to reach out and interact with people in different ways that, once again, it's like when I was a kid growing up, I would never would have thought like I can get on a computer and interact with people, like-minded people, to be able to learn stuff, to be able to talk to people, not just from different states, from different parts of the world,
Yeah,
and just be cool with those people and like you said, to call them friends, and it's really great.
yeah,
And you know, to just hear different things, and it's amazing. I'm really I sometimes I get emotional just thinking about it. It's like wow, it's like I have more friends on the line than I like do like that I know in real life.
yeah. And
Like
keep me in the house. Keep me in the
right,
house. I don't even want to do
like
it. I was like, what are y'all? Are y'all getting on VC? Because y'all ain't going nowhere.
right. It's
Save
like
me some
it's
money.
easier. Like it's easier to chill with these people than to act like I want to go somewhere. Like plus it's
Exactly.
hot. I had to go out to the car to get something. I left something in the car. I was like, damn. I was like, I really want to go out in the driveway. It's like why is it so hot? I said I live in St. Louis. It's like 90 something degrees. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's
but like I might
85
take
here
the kids
today.
for
The 85 here today, and I shovel. I literally, when you hit my line, I literally just got done cutting the grass.
oh the grass is I look at the grass every time I'll be like, I want to cut this damn grass. It's like that's a whole thing. It's like okay, it's like I cut it. It's like first off, I need to get some more gas. I need to get some more
Hmm.
gas for the lawnmower, and then it's got to be strategic. I'm hitting that front yard. Gotta get the bed, the flower bed, and all this stuff, and then there's the backyard.
Hmm.
Like I'm hiring somebody for that backyard. That backyard is treacherous. It's on the hill.
Oh
I'm
no,
like,
no,
God
no,
dang.
no, no, no hills.
Yeah,
Ooh.
this adulting, this bullshit. They ain't tell me nothing about this. Gas used to be $1. But as soon as I start driving, gas is two something.
Four
Like, God,
dollars,
God, God,
4.50.
what is this? I remember talking to mom. I'm feeling old talking to mom. Sam's got that cheap gas over there. They so you better hurry up before they change it. You gotta.
Hmm.
I was like, God dang it. Talking about gas prices and sales and ruler and shit. Like, oh God, got some
Gotta love
chicken wings on
adulting,
sale.
man.
Right.
Gotta love
Oh.
adulting.
But yeah, so for those who don't know, you can hit me up at Bold Expressions on both Twitter and Instagram, BLD Expressions. Once again, that's Bold Expressions on both Twitter. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I don't give a damn what they say.
Hmm.
His mama called on Twitter. I'm going to call on Twitter. On both Twitter and Instagram, BLD Expressions. You can also hit me up on, send me emails at Bold Expressions, the number 4 at gmail.com. There's Bold Expression Podcast on YouTube, which I'm probably going to upload since I'm recording. I'm going to upload this and try to get better at uploading. Sorry, I keep I'm doing better in saying I'm going to try. I am going to upload this on YouTube as well as the audio on the podcast. Uh, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever podcasts can be found. Um, Thank you for everybody for listening to this. Thank you for my guests for giving up their time. As you know, I would say time is so important. He could have been doing anything else. You could have been doing anybody could have been doing anything else except for being on here, listening to this, watching this, what have you. You can never get your time back. So the fact that you spent that time listening and watching us,
Hmm.
I cannot express to you how grateful I am for that. And thank you so much for that. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Even if you don't like it, send it to somebody that you hate. Maybe they'll annoy them. Um, just for the likes. Even if you just put it on in the background, just to get those numbers up. Uh, put 5 cents, in the purse, for those ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a good day, good morning, good evening, whenever you're listening to or is watching this. And as always, don't be so busy proving your point that you forget your purpose. Bye.